Now that we've had a look at some of the basic filming techniques, we're going to have a look at some of the more advanced and creative techniques that you can build into your armory. These will include a slider shot, a jib shot, an orb shot, and a dynamic walking shot. So first up, slider shot. Let's go have a look. So the first technique we're going to have a look at in this advanced filming techniques video is the slider shot. And by slider shot, we're talking about a movement from left to right, where we keep the camera in a nice straight line, which is different to doing a panning shot where we are rotating our body. So we imagine a straight line in front of us. We're trying to keep the camera moving straight along that line. So where we might use this slider shot is for a reveal shot. By reveal shot, what I mean is where you have something in the foreground that we slide past to reveal what's in the background. So it works quite well in a kitchen surface, revealing a living space behind. It also works quite nicely when you're coming from behind a wall to reveal a room that's in front of you. The second place the slider shot works quite well is for more detail shots. So going along the end of a bed, facing the headboard and the cushions, more detail shots of key objets d'art in a living space, going along kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks, taps, those more sort of close-up fixtures and fittings detail shots. So let's have a look at the technique of doing this. So the first technique is more of a lean method where we start with the camera to the left, with the weight on the left foot. When we're ready, we press record and we slowly transfer our weight to the right, leaning all the way, but the camera is staying in a nice straight line. It's important to remember when you're doing this shot to keep in tilt lock mode, and that'll remove any vertical movement. So if we just have a look at that technique again, we're in tilt locked, we do our lean, keeping the camera nice and straight along the straight line, and we do our lean, press stop recording. So the second technique, which is a similar technique, except as opposed to doing the lean, we're actually going to do a little bit more of a walk. So it's a similar principle. We're going to tilt lock mode and we walk along the straight line. It's a little bit more of a crab walk, overlapping your feet. Have a look at that again. So similar principle, but as opposed to doing the lean, we actually do a bit more of a walk. So that's your slider shot. Okay, so the next shot we're going to have a look at is the jib shot, which is a sort of vertical movement shot. But as opposed to a vertical pan shot, where we're in follow mode and the camera pans up and pans down as we move, in this case we're going to be in lock mode, tilt lock mode, sorry, and the camera is going to remain dead straight. So as we move up and down, the camera itself doesn't start panning, it stays in a stationary position. The technique for this is reasonably straightforward. So let's get ourselves into tilt lock mode. Okay, we're in tilt locked. We're going to start with the camera above us, crouch down and do a simple squat motion. Go back up. I tend to find it easy actually coming back down, so I'll come back down again. Simple, nice in a straight line, like a rocket coming down to land. So where you might do this sort of shot is a bit like a slider shot where we have something in front of us and reveal what's behind, but in this case, because it's vertical, we have something in front of us beneath us. In this case it's a table, and we lift and we reveal the living space behind. So reasonably simple to do, but quite effective. Okay, so the next shot we're going to have a look at in this series is the orb shot. And by an orb shot, what we mean is a shot where we rotate around an object. So we keep an object in the middle of the frame and we move around the object. So it works quite well for feature things like chandeliers or feature lights or anything that's a sort of sculpture or things like that that you can move around. It creates quite a nice cinematic effect. To do this, we want to be in follow mode, and as I said, the key thing is to keep the object in the center of the frame and we move around the object, keeping the camera in front of us. I don't have anything particular in this property that works that well, but for the purposes of an example, I'll move around this table so we can get a feel for the technique. So for this, we want to be in follow mode, so that the camera follows where we're walking. When we're ready, we hit record and we start rotating around the object. The camera's in front of me, I'm moving around the camera, and our object is in the middle of the frame. So nice rotational shot, round we go, keep the camera in front of me, no panning, just walking around. Nice rotational shot. So that's your orb shot. It's not the easiest one to do to keep steady, but it's quite cinematic and it works quite well if you can get it right. So the last shot we're going to look at in this video is the dynamic walking shot. So it's a bit like the walking shot we did in the basic filming techniques where we walk into a room, except this time as opposed to just walking in a straight line, we're actually going to film a longer shot and complete a turn. So where we would use this shot is in a video where we use an effect called a speed ramp. And a speed ramp is effectively where we run the video in normal time or in slower speed until we get to the turn, and when we get there we actually speed up the shot, normally timed to the beat of the music. So it makes quite a cool turning effect. So let's have a look at the technique of doing this. So when we're filming the shot, we want to be in tilt lock mode so that we don't have any lateral movement. We keep the camera in front of us and we walk, and then we complete our turn. So when we're ready, we press record. I'm in tilt lock mode, nice and straight, walking at a normal speed. Now I start my turn, complete the turn. I'm not panning, but I'm walking all the way around. There's my turn shot, and if I wanted to, I could continue the shot further if I wanted to keep going. So that's the advanced walking shot.